What's going on, YouTube? R to the double E dash to the ZON coming at you once again. I'm coming at you with a playthrough, or at least the beginning of a playthrough of a very, very special game to me, man, and to a lot of gamers, man. Over the years, man, 15 years or so on my YouTube channel, had a lot of subscribers, excuse me, and a lot of just friends that I've met on this platform who have enjoyed this game as much as I have, or also just people I introduced the game to. This is the sequel, of course, Endless Ocean 2 Blue World, sequel to the original Endless Ocean. Two very, very special games for me in my gaming life, man. Nintendo Wii exclusives. I believe before the series was called Forever Blue on PlayStation 2, but I don't remember it ever having the love or the attention it had on this on PS2 or any other console for that matter that it had on Nintendo. So here we're seeing the intro sequence. It's beautiful graphics, man. It's one of the games that really pushed the Wii. We know the Wii was limited graphically, especially compared to the PS3 and 360, but man, this was some of the prettiest graphics. This and Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are probably the best graphical showcases that the Nintendo Wii had to offer. And this sequel, Endless Ocean 2 Blue World, just took the graphics up a whole nother notch, man. Straight up, just beautiful, beautiful graphics. Real lifelike character models, especially for the creatures. And just the ocean environments are just spectacular. It's a scuba diving simulator, so very, very calm, very, take it at your own pace. There is a story, especially in the sequel, much more than the original, but it's kind of just explore, man, enjoy the environment, enjoy everything the developers and the artists created for you to find and see, and, it's just beautiful, man. So here we have the intro. We see the cast of characters you're going to be dealing with throughout the game. This intro takes place, as you'll see as we go through the playthrough, this intro actually takes place at the end of the game. So a lot of these characters you haven't met, you haven't interacted with yet. It's kind of a flash forward. And here's just, the game's kind of clumsy way of determining whether you're male or female, what your character's going to look like, what their name's going to be, so forth. So here you see that we have, the entire cast of characters, and this is the complete cast of characters, by the way, in the entire game, all gathered at this one spot where there seems to be just a crazy amount of whales and of all different species all joined together. Now, you'll notice there's a couple transitions I put in the video in the editing process, just because, this is the Wii, back in the day, loading times were a lot longer, so I cut some of that out for your convenience. So whenever you see a transition like the one coming up right here, means, I cut out a good, 10, 20 plus seconds of loading time, just, for your convenience and for your enjoyment. So here you see you diving down, humpback whales, blue whales. Look at that. I mean, I'm saying the creature models are just spectacular, especially for that time, man. Still hold up today. You got some blue whales there. And if you're any kind of like a marine buff like I am, I love the ocean. I love ocean animals, marine life. I know a lot about them. I've studied them, throughout my life. These are very, very accurate, not only in the way they look, but also in the way they behave and the way they move. So here the game is just trying to get you oriented as far as, getting used to the Wiimote for motion controls, as pretty much every game on the Wii was. This game is played strictly with the Wiimote, no nunchuck needed. Just, you point it at the screen like a TV remote, and you just, wherever you move, wherever you point is where your character's going to look and where they're gonna face. And then you hold the trigger button or the B button just to swim forward. So they want you to swim towards that cave, so we're going to do that now. See, the game's telling you, basically showing you some on-screen cues as what to do. If you shake the Wiimote left and right real quick, you do a roll. There you got some, false killer whales, some bottlenose dolphins there. And as you head towards the cave, I mean, it's still to this day, man, even for another power console, just beautiful, beautiful graphics in this game. The soundtrack is also great. I mean, the original had a lot more as far as the vocals, more song selection, I would say, but it's still great. This one kind of opted for the silence and ambience of the ocean and your regulator when you're breathing and all that until, big moments happen. That's when the music comes in. Whereas the original, there was a track playing the entire time. So, that just depends on your preference as to which one you prefer more. Here we come in, and there's this like castle type like temple under the ocean. What is this place? And then you get the big splash screen letting you know it's Endless Ocean Blue World, baby. I cannot tell you, bro. Words cannot describe how much I love this game, man. And just like the magic of this game. for a game that wasn't, villain versus hero or none of that. Just epic, epic game. So here's giving you a little bit of backstory, how everything started. So now you're flashing back to the current day. Game deals a lot with that theme, the Song of Dragons. That's basically the overarching story in this game. Your character is fascinated, obsessed with the legend or the folklore of the Song of Dragons, and is trying to investigate it and find out what it is, what it means, what the legend's all about. So you get introduced to the first main character. This is Jean-Eric Levay, I believe his name is, or Laviera. I'm not really sure how to say it. He's basically the owner and operator of L&L Diving Services, the company you're going to be working for. You're going to be diving for them. Here you get to put in your name. You know what it is, R to the double E, all day. Basically, are you light skin, medium skin tone, or dark? And then your smooth features or more pronounced features. Pick whatever you want. Then it's going to give you a snapshot. Again, character creation in this game is very, very limited. It's just, it's like one of two templates that you can be for both male or female. So. And if I'm not mistaken, the vocalist you hear singing in the background, I believe it's Haley Westenra. She was the original, if it is her, that was the original vocalist for the original MS Ocean. Beautiful voice, great music. I mean, it is what it is, man. Game had top-notch production value. And you saw at the beginning when we were seeing the intro sequence, it's produced by Nintendo/Eureka. Eureka was the original publisher of the first MS Ocean. I had never heard of them outside of this series, but man, what a great job they did with these games. And this is one of those games that, the Wii was instrumental in bringing games like this that were quote-unquote non-games, as some people call them. There was no, crazy story. There was no heroes or villains or anything like that. It was just basically exploration and exploring and experiencing the world that the developers created for you. Nintendo allowed this on their console, but I credit specifically the great and late Satoru Iwata, former president of Nintendo, who sadly passed away in, I think, 2015. He is responsible for games like this being on the console, taking chances on games like this that no one else really would touch or would allow to be on their console. And it's just a great exclusive. As far as sequels go, this one improved on the original MS Ocean, hand over fist, man. More creatures, better graphics, better creature design, and more accurate lifelike creatures, behaviors, all that. Also a bigger world to explore. The original MS Ocean had a nice big world, especially for a Wii game for that time. Big open type world, but this game took it up another notch. Whereas the original, you were in the Pelagic Sea or the Pelago Sea, whatever it was called. It was just it was a big body of water, but it's mainly a made up body of water. Here you go all over the world to actual locations. You go to the Red Sea off the coast of Egypt. You go to Ciseros Strait, which is off the Mediterranean Sea. You go to Antarctica. You go to the north coast of Canada. You go to the Amazon River, even going into freshwater. I mean, there's a lot in this game. So here you see the first area we're gonna dive in. Scaramel Atoll. That's the name of the place. Here you see the map just showed you the overworld, basically the entire area. But look at how big it is. As we go exploring this, you're going to see the map get filled out. And look how little gets filled out for how much exploring we do. I mean, there's a lot to explore, there's a lot to see, a lot to discover. So here you got some information basically about Scaramel Atoll. You're at the Atoll Gate. That's one of the areas. Also, in the game, you'll as you open up the map and as you explore more, you'll start to unlock other diving locations within the same area, so you don't have to always start your dive in the same spot. So here again, this is a playthrough from the very beginning of the game, as if the game has never been played. So it's going to explain everything. It's going to, make sure you're comfortable with the controls, comfortable with everything that's going on, everything that you can do. It's going to walk you through everything. Eventually, you'll see you're able to skip some of that stuff. So, just giving you a lay of the land, telling you what you can expect to see in this area. So now it just basically wants you to interact with the creatures, with the sea life, which is a big part of this game. Interacting with them, petting them, feeding them, taking photos, documenting them. The more you interact with them, the more you find out about them, the more you learn about them. And that also helps to fill out the Marine Encyclopedia, which is part of your home base. It's an encyclopedia of the 300 plus animals in this game. You want to fill that out by discovering them, interacting with them. You'll notice that when I press A on one of them, it's question marks, and then it tells you the name. You have to interact with them to get the name, and then you get your first fact about that creature. The more you interact with them, you unlock more and more facts. You can see here. You can see facts about them. You can also see the areas in which you can find them in that area where you're in that part of the ocean where you're at. It'll tell you what parts of it you can find the creature at, what time of day, things like that. Because you dive at daytime, sunset, nighttime, all of that. So it's telling you could feed them, you can pet them or rub them. So here I hold the food out, you see they all come. They all start coming, they all start eating. And the cool part is as you're holding the food, if you just hold on to it while they eat it, you could feel the Wiimote vibrating as the animal's feeding. So that's just a little touch, a little bit of force feedback there. That little glowing orb, there's certain creatures or certain things that you need to zoom into because the creature's very small. You wouldn't see it normally as part of the world, so you got to zoom in and see it. Doing that allows you to interact with the smaller creatures. Also discover some artifacts, coins, other other minerals or other objects that you can discover that you can salvage. That's another thing this game has over the first one here. There's a lot of salvaging, which is cool because you get to discover different items on the ocean floor, bring them back to your home base, and then you can get them appraised and sell them, and you get money for that. And then you can buy things to dress up your island. Or you also have a feature where you can have right off the coast of your island, there's a private reef that you can decorate, that you can fill with different objects. So there's a lot of things to explore in this game, man. So here you see I'm just interacting with some of the local wildlife, feeding them, petting them, things of that nature. I mean, just look at the detail in the environment. Again, this is a Wii. This is the Wii. Okay, this isn't 360 or PS3. So here you go. There's one of the areas. I'm gonna zoom in real quick. Now you see there's a coin there, so we can collect that, salvage that. I forgot how many, but there's a shitload of coins in this game to collect. And also you can interact with smaller fish. Like those fish you see there, you wouldn't see them normally unless you zoom in. So it's telling you about the coins that you can collect. But again, look at the detail, man. The environment is just beautiful. Again, for it being the Wii, which is basically just a slightly, barely even mentionable, more powerful GameCube. Look at what they were able to do. You see, it's kind of skittish. It's the way they react, the way they move is just amazing attention to detail. There, I'm trying to draw him in. See, as soon as I let the food go, he backs up like, oh crap. Then he darts in and out, taking bites. Here I'm again, haven't played the game in so long, I'm trying to remember how to pet them. So that's why you see me shaking the Wii remote around. I figured it out pretty quickly, you'll see. So here we're just moving around, exploring. Eventually she's going to tell me, what direction to head. I think I have to talk to her first if I'm not mistaken. So this is just a, calm, tranquil area where you can just get your bearings. Here I'm trying to surface because I know you can surface. You can peek above the surface of the water. But again, this is the beginning of the game, so it's not letting me do that just yet. So I'm going to interact with some more, more animals. And again, every single animal you interact with, when you find out the name, you learn out facts about it, it automatically gets documented in your encyclopedia. So here they come, boom, comes in, tries to get a piece of the food. They all start coming in and see. It's super lifelike. And there's your partner, Oceana, granddaughter of Jean-Eric Laveau. Again, I don't remember how to say her name. But yeah, she's with you on every dive. You can also later in the game, as you befriend certain marine mammals, dolphins and porpoises and things like that, you can choose to dive with them as a partner. and you can ride them, and you get a speed boost when you're on them. Obviously, they're more adapted to the aquatic environment than you are, so that's another cool thing. So here I'm gonna talk to her. Tells us we can exit the atoll gate. So we're gonna head in the direction she said. The compass on the top left is what helps you get your bearings. So when they say, hey, you can head in this direction or that direction, you just use the compass, follow that, and it'll take you the right way. Again, some more smaller, minute marine life. Interact with them, you know what I'm saying? Document them. Now, you guys, like I said, you guys have no idea how many hours I poured into this game over the years. But even when it first launched, man, I was dying for this game. I remember seeing the original Endless Ocean. Picked it up because I knew I was going to love it. I loved, scuba diving and, the undersea life and just the marine environment in general. It's just beautiful. And of course, who wouldn't want to go explore that? But that one was a surprise. I didn't know that game existed until I saw it on like IGN or something like that. Saw a review for it, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, for sure. But then we got the announcement, that a year or two, I think that was in 2007, 2008-ish, around there. Then we got the announcement that in 2010, we were going to get Endless Ocean Blue World, the sequel. And so I was anticipating this game, like, bro, just waiting for it. And I was probably the only one. I didn't care. I love these kind of games. So the minute they announced the sequel, I was on board. I played the hell out of both of them, man. Very, very special games. Here we have a humpback whale calf baby, but it's alone. It's separated from its mother, so we're probably gonna have to end up going to go find its mother, getting reunited. So these are the beginning, easier tasks of the game. And again, like I said, this is the Wii. Look at the expanse. Look at how far we've traveled, and we're gonna travel even further. This is just one of the oceans, or one of the areas in the game that you visit. Again, so you see, separated from its mother. I don't think it matters which option you pick, honestly, but I'm a good guy, so I'm gonna try to get the baby back to its mom. So here, like you see, Spring Guard and the Atoll Gate, all these places. These are all areas within this environment, within Gatama Atoll. All the environments in the game you visit have specific areas within them. See, look at that little tiny blue area of the map. That's all we've explored. Look at how much more there is to explore. That's one area. There's like 6 or 7 in the game. Okay, so I figured out how you poke them, pet them, all that. We got some rays. See, I hold out the food, watch all the rays come. Comes in under, has to circle back around. I'm just gonna hold it here. You're gonna see they start coming. He's swimming around it. Not too sure. Wave it around. He's still swimming around it. And you're gonna see, here he comes. Boom. On your left, you'll see there's your compass. There's also your depth meter, tells you how deep you are, and it also your air meter all the way to the left. At the beginning of the game, your air doesn't last all that long. And if you get attacked or hit by one of the dangerous marine animals, which is another difference from the first game to this one. In the first game, none of the animals attacked. In this one, they do attack. But when you get hit, you lose. You take like a big gulp of air. So your air meter is something you gotta keep track of. I mean, you don't die in this game, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, you run out of air, it's just gonna send you right back up to the boat. This is one of those games that Nintendo and also the developer Rika kind of had a no violence policy, which is cool. It's fine because it's a relaxing game. But they did add a little bit of pressure and a little bit of stress in this one by having the dangerous animals attack. Now, they won't bite you, you won't see blood, but they'll come at you and ram you, or they'll tail whip you or something, and that causes you to lose air. So here we got some sawfish, trying to feed them, and boom, I just unlocked more trivia about this animal. So the more you interact with them, feed them, pet them, you'll unlock, tidbits of information about him. See, like I poke him, he don't like that too much. Wiggles around. Super, super, super cool. I mean, it's crazy how good the texture of the sand looks. The waves in the sand, like the grooves in the sand, and then you got the reflection of the water on it. I mean, Nintendo always, ever since right around the 64, ever since then, they were just amazing at water graphics and water physics for every generation. So even this being, as I said before, underpowered compared to its competitors at the time, still created some pretty good graphics. This game, I know it's not the first, but to me it's the best, and it's one of the first that got the popularity it did as far as console-based scuba diving simulators. It spawned a good amount of games inspired by it, such as Abzu on the PlayStation 4 and other consoles, I believe. But I got it on PS4. Also, Deep Blue on the Xbox. I mean, this game was a pioneer, of its time, of the genre. One of them, at least. I would like to go back and see if one of these days I can track down Forever Blue on PlayStation consoles and see if it's the exact same game as the original on this ocean, or if it's a different game but in the same franchise. That I honestly don't know. So here we go. We found the spring garden. There's the mom, the mother humpback whale. So now we're gonna reunite her and her calf and get a cool little cinematic. That shows you just more about these amazing animals, man. And again, bro, just look at the sun rays piercing through the water, the depth, the draw distance. Again, for an underpowered console, very, very impressive. So now the baby realizes that its mother's here, so it goes crazy. It's like, oh my god, mom. Almost runs you over. And now Oceana drops a pendant that she carries with her. And watch out what happens. It emits some weird noise. And all of a sudden, the mother humpback didn't like that noise. Now she's coming right at us. You just gotta shake the Wii remote right quick to dodge out the way. Your cool little cinematic there. So we're not really certain why that noise made the humpback whale go crazy. We'll find out later in the game. But here we get a cool cinematic that just shows us some of the behaviors of these animals. And again, epic music. Perfectly suited for the environment you're in and the theme of the game. So I see the calf is nursing. Yeah, yes, whales are mammals, so they produce milk and feed their young the same way land mammals do. Super cool, man. This is one of many, many, many magical moments in both the original and the sequel. Here, I cut out some loading time for y'all. Get back to the action. Now we gotta go get the pendant that she dropped. And even though you don't see it there graphically, she's letting you know it's caught in the snout of the mother whale. So now we gotta ride the mother whale to get the to get the pendant back. One of the other cool features of this game and the original, the big, massive creatures, especially the peaceful ones, you can hitch a ride on. So you got the icon on the right, grab it, boom. So now we got the pendant back, and we go for a nifty little ride. Has the words "The Road to the Truth" engraved in it. So that's something important. We'll see later. You can switch camera angles when riding the animal. You get it from the behind or from the front. Super, super cool. Alright, so we've done... Oh, I hit that by accident. I'm trying to return to the boat. We've done what we came to do for the first dive. So now we're going to return to the boat and progress forward in the game. So look at that. All that swimming, and that little bit of blue is the only part we've explored. So much more to explore in just that area alone. A lot of content, a lot of great things to see and explore in this game. And also, if I remember correctly, both the original and this game, when they launched, were not even full price games. They were like $30 instead of the full 60. So, hell of a bargain. And this one, as a matter of fact, when I bought this one, the sequel, it came bundled with the We Speak peripheral, which was Nintendo's roundabout way of doing voice chat, since they didn't have it natively built into their system. It was a little speaker / microphone you would hook up to the Wii, kind of like your sensor bar, and that allowed you to do voice chat because this game did have online play. I believe I went diving a few times with a good friend of mine, Mercury, one of my subscribers, homeboy that I met here on YouTube, become great friends ever since. He was one of the people that was actually pushing for this playthrough. If I'm not mistaken, when I advertised it on my channel, you know, I did on the community section, I put a picture of the cover of the game, and I was like, who wants to see a playthrough of this? I think he was like, yes, please. So, Mercury, it's for you as well as everybody else who enjoys this type of games. But yeah, we went diving a couple times, and we could hear each other, and you know, chat through the We Speak peripheral. Came bundled free with the game, and the game wasn't even full price, so hell of a bargain. So here she's talking about that she wants to go and find the other pendant. We didn't even know until now that she mentioned it that she had. You know, her father gave her one, her mother gave her one. Both her parents unfortunately passed away. The one that her father gave her, I believe, she dropped it. She dropped it in an area called the Deep Hole, which is part of Gatineau's Hole, the same area. It's another area we haven't explored yet within this area. And the grandfather is not liking it. He's saying it's very dangerous. We'll see why in a few moments. Yeah, the grandfather's not very on board with the whole Song of Dragons thing. He don't like the superstitions and all that. But you'll see as the game progresses and the story progresses, there's a reason why he shies away from that particular legend. So here's the first opportunity you get to save your game. This is one of those parts of the game where it's like it forces you to save. Well, not forces you, to ask you like outright, but you can save at any time at your home base. So here's the next day. He's like, Reezon, wake up, something's going on. We're back on the boat. And it turns out Oceana has gone off on her own to the Deep Hole, even though her grandfather didn't want her to go retrieve that pendant that she lost years ago when she was a child. And he's freaking out because it's a dangerous area. We're about to see why right now. Telling you that her father, died. Her mother also died. Later on in the game, you don't hear much more about the mother as far as how she died, but later on in the game, you find out how the father died. Kind of tragic, but part of the story here. That's why tiger sharks. Tiger sharks are in the area. They like to hunt there, and if you know anything about marine life, tiger sharks are one of the most aggressive sharks there are. Right up there with great white, tigers, bulls, those are straight up man eaters. So there we see her jet ski, her wave runner parked out there. The deep hole is right around that area, but you got to stop the boat there and you got to make your way there diving because there's a kelp force. Won't allow the boat to get any closer than they already are. And he's just reiterating he's got a medical condition, he can't dive, so you got to go do it. And now he gives you one of the new items in the game, the pulser. This is different from part one. It wasn't in part one. This is basically like an electric gun, so to speak. You can use it to heal and cure sick animals, but you can also use it to pacify aggressive animals. So this is how the game gets around the no violence thing. It doesn't want you hurting the animals, so you shoot these electric rays at the animal and it calms them down so they're not aggressive anymore, and you got a couple of minutes to get out of there before they get back to being aggressive. So here we're gonna dive down, try to make our way to the deep hole, see if we can help out Oceana. He's asking if he wants you to explain how it works. I'm like, no, because I already played the game before, so we'll skip that. And here it tells you the deeper you dive, the more air you consume, and the quicker you consume it. Also, if you get hit by one of the aggressive animals, you will take a big gulp of air, thereby depleting it more than normal. So we got to go towards the circle mark on our map. And this is the entrance to the deep hole. Once we go through here, we'll be at the kelp forest. Right, here we are. Now we got to navigate through this kelp forest to get to the actual deep hole. The deep hole is kind of like a crater on the ocean floor that goes down deeper than what you're seeing here. Excuse me. So now as we navigate through the kelp, there's areas again that you can zoom in and see some of the tinier sea life. Leafy sea dragon. I've actually seen those live at aquariums. Super, super trippy looking, man. Blend perfectly into their environment. You wouldn't even know that they were there. And it's kind of like a defense that they have against predators. So here we're swimming through the kelp. I check the map periodically to make sure I'm going the right way. There's some more sea dragons. I always investigate the areas that you can zoom in because, like, again, there's coins, there's minerals, and things that you can collect that you can, either collect them for the sake of collecting or also have them appraised and sell them to gain money. So here we are at the deep hole. Beautiful, man. Look at that. Got Japanese eagle rays. Again, very lifelike, in large groups, all swimming in the same formation, just like they would in real life. There we go. Now we've documented that creature, and I'm going to feed them, watch them all go crazy. Yep, they're turning around. Here comes one from the left. And there, I'm just trying to interact with them. Here you go, the other one coming from the bottom. They change their entire formation and the direction just because I brought food out. There he goes, boom, trying to eat it. Super cool, man. So here we're going to proceed to the deep hole, and we're going to get our first glimpse at one of the more amazing creatures and predators in the game. A badass little cinematic showing the mighty tiger shark in all its grace. Look at that. Boom. Super, super lifelike. Great model. Great character model right there. Creature model, I should say. Amazing design. So yeah, the shark is on the prowl. He hasn't noticed her yet, but it's just a matter of time. So you got to get in there and kind of like rescue her. Take the pulsar out. Goes into first-person view, but you can still maneuver and swim around. And I'm not even gonna let him attack. I'm just gonna hit him with it. Boom. Hit him a few times. He's calmed down. Swims away. I tell her, grandpa's worried. And she still has her heart set on finding that pendant, so we're gonna help her dive deeper and look for it. You can see it goes down quite a ways. Also, you can earn titles like that right there. It's kind of like achievements for Xbox. Really, it's just like titles that you can earn and mix and match the first and second word of titles to create your own as you go unlocking more titles throughout the game. We dive down all the way to the bottom, and there, those little sparkles you see there. It's an area you can zoom in, but it's different than most areas. This is letting you know there's an item there. An item, like a story item that you need to get. So here we found her sky pendant. So now she gives you a quick little tutorial on how to heal animals that are sick using the same pulsar you used to repel the shark. So it tells you now when it's a green reticle, they're slightly injured or sick. 1 or 2 shots of the pulsar will heal them. Orange, a little bit worse. You need more shots. Purple, even more. And red is like they're critically sick or critically injured and really need your help. So it's going to take about 5 shots. So here we see whenever you pull a pulsar out, you'll see which animals are injured or sick, and what degree they're injured or sick by the color reticule that's around them. So, just another little mechanic in the game that you get to mess around with, and it diversifies the gameplay. I think I show you later in the playthrough, but also you can go into first-person view without using the pulsar. You can change from third person to first person by pressing the 2 button. The 1 button gives you your map view, so you can see the map and where you're at. Yeah, a lot of times I do go into first person when I'm just enjoying this game on my own because it's just so immersive, man. You feel like you're there. So there I'm looking around to see if there's any more sick creatures. Oh, there's one right there. Boom. Good to go. Yep, got on the way. So now we pretty much done what we came to do. Rescue Oceana, find the second pendant, deter the tiger shark, and now I think we can head back to the boat. Continue to progress the story forward. And now my diving level has gone up. Tells you here, it rises the more you dive, the longer you stay underwater, the more things you do, and the more your level rises, the longer you can stay down, the more air you get in your air meter. That also gets improved later on in the game by buying different tanks, different gear that you can get, from your home base. So here we're back on the boat. Grandfather's gonna lecture her. What the fuck were you doing down there? Da da da, So now you got both parts of the, or both pendants. Very, very similar looking. They're both engraved. The first one says, if I remember, oh, she'll say it right now. So I'm gonna say they're the same in diameter because they are. So now you guys discover that they can be put together and it clicks into place, so now they become one piece. And they're both engraved now. The engravings together form a verse. The road to the truth is the Song of Dragons. So the first one she had said the road to the truth. The second one said is the Song of Dragons. Now he mentions Nancy, the appraiser. She's a trader that not traitor, a trader, the number one trader in the area. She goes from all around all these islands, selling goods. If you ever want to switch up your look, get a haircut, she can give you the haircut. You can buy gear from her. You can have her appraise items that you saw from the ocean floor, sell them for money, and you could buy gear from her, like some extra tanks, regulators, fins, wetsuits. You can buy stuff for the island itself. Beach chairs, decorations, campfires, stuff like that. You can also buy things for your own private reef that you have off the coast of the island you're going to now, which is Nine Ball Island. It's your home base. The truth. What could that mean? We'll find out as the game goes on. So here we're at Nine Ball Island. So there's your little base, basically. That's like the control center, basically. All the stuff that you need to interact with as far as saving the game, looking at your encyclopedia, looking at the pictures you take with the camera when you get the camera later, the radio to call Nancy, a little logbook that tells you basically where you're at in the story and what's next, and side quests and things like that. Real cool, man. Again, a lot more expansive than the first game. The first game had something similar to this on the boat on the ship that you're on, but there's a lot more here. That's where you can change your wetsuit, your gear, and all that. And then you can just go in the cabin, take a nap to advance time. You have, daytime, sunset, nighttime, early morning, things like that. Yeah, like if you don't want to walk to each thing, you can just press the plus button. It comes up with every option available on the island, so it's kind of a shortcut. And here they introduce you to one of the many animals that you can befriend in the game. And these animals, once you befriend them and start training them and interacting with them at the island, they become partners. So you can actually dive with them. So here you get to name it. I'm just gonna name it Shady. All caps. Nah, it's just a Y. That's it. And just for that, you got another title. And here it shows you that little plaque on the wall, the little certificate on the wall. You can go to it, and then there you can mix and match your titles. And like I said before. And that's the dolphin bell. You use that to call any one of the creatures that you befriended. You can befriend basically any marine mammal, any kind of dolphin, porpoise. I'm pretty sure you can also befriend an orca, which is pretty cool. So now we're gonna have a little training session with Shady. So the more you know, have sessions with your animal friends, train them, get them to do tricks, they'll learn other tricks, and they'll also get better at the tricks they already know. Like here, this is a jump flip, right? So I'll shake the Wii remote, tell him to go, and he jumps, but he doesn't flip. Because at the beginning, he doesn't know how to, so he just jumps. And the more and more you exercise that move and feed him and reward him for it, the higher he'll jump, he'll set new records, and then eventually he'll learn how to flip. And then he'll learn other tricks. So here he learned a new trick already. And the trick is, well, let's feed him first. So we have to pat him, feed him. So here the new trick he has now is that he learns how to sing. So he'll come up and he'll just start vocalizing. See? You know, like you see me changing the camera angles. So you got like 3 or 4 different camera angles you can change to when they're doing tricks to get a more cinematic view of it. Now we're gonna see if we can get him to jump higher. It's still kind of low. And we're gonna reward him. Let's see if we can get him to jump higher. There, he jumped higher, set a new record. So you see he's getting better and better. And also go learning more tricks as you go along. Comes up, you learn the new trick. Let's see what that trick is. A backflip. Let's see if he'll do a backflip. Give him the signal. There he goes. He did it. So again, this is just another way that the game breaks up the gameplay, diversifies it. A lot of things, like I said, a lot of things not only to explore, see, and discover, but also a lot of different things to do. So now he gives us another item. He gave us the poster, now he gives us the sea whistle. Sea whistle really is used to signal and communicate with marine mammals, dolphins and whales. Other animals don't really respond to it. Makes sense. Why would a fish or a shark respond to that? But dolphins and whales that use echolocation are going to respond to it pretty much every time. So again, just continue to give us a rundown of the island from now. Basically lets us go on our own. We want to save, we can save. We want to keep going with the story, we can keep going with the story. Just letting you know that you walk the same way you swim. Just hold the B button and just point in the direction you want to go. Trying to get here to the dust. You do move a lot more stiffly on land than you do in the water, but you know, what do you expect? It's a scuba diving simulator, it's not a walking simulator. So here we get to see everything, all the different. Here's our logbook, it tells us about the story, or our notebook, I should say. So if you ever forget where in the story you are, just go to the story tab, click it, it tells you everything you've done so far. Song of Dragons, it tells you here everything you've done from the very beginning till this point. See everything. It's recounting the story about the whale, the baby whale, the mother whale, trying to ram you when the sound came out of the pendant. Also, Oceana going off on her own to the deep hole. You having to save her from a tiger shark. Discovering that the pendants go together, all that. So if you ever get lost, you can just go there. Also, you have side quests and other things to explore. Here you have the encyclopedia. And there we can go through it and see all the different animals and animals that you've discovered, animals that are yet to be discovered, all classified. So we'll go to large marine life. And you'll see here, these are all large fish and large marine mammals. All the ones that are blacked out, obviously we haven't discovered yet, or haven't, interacted with yet. The different sharks. A lot of species of animals in this game, man. It's super cool. So here, it just tells you whatever you've interacted with is going to be cataloged. You see, there you got the dwarf sawfish, which we interacted with. The eagle ray there, we interacted with that. Here's the marine mammals. I mean, just look at the variety, man. There's the humpback whale. So if we click on anything we've interacted with that's documented, we can go in, we can see different facts about it, facts that we've uncovered so far, how large they are, what they behave like, what areas of the ocean they're in. So real cool stuff. That's the radio to call Nancy. So we're gonna call her because we want her to appraise the pendants. She can tell us more about them, what they mean, what they're about. And everybody in this game gets around on wave runners, which is just super cool. So she tells you that it's made out of a material called lapis lazuli. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But it's a type of material or type of stone that this pendant's made out of. Tells you it's also very, very old. So it looks like it was carved. The item is old, but the carving is new. So the grandfather thinks that the father might have engraved it. So it's kind of like a riddle, kind of like a message. So here we get some more of the story. Valka Castle shall sink before our eyes. So obviously, because it's in yellow font, we know it's important. Something we're probably going to try to go explore or visit. Also something that's pertinent to the story. The Aegean Sea. So that's kind of like by the Mediterranean Sea, around that area. So here we're finding more about the father. Died 15 years ago in an accident. Even the grandfather's intrigued. And of course it would be good for business. Expanding L&L diving services range as far as different locations they'll go to. Again, this game, just like the original, there'll be the side quest of photographing certain animals and also taking other customers, other divers on guided tours. They might want to go see a specific animal. They might want to go visit a specific location. So you'll be doing that also, which also gains you money and experience and all that. So here we look at the gear that she has to offer right now. Got wetsuits, gloves, fins, regulators, BCDs, tanks, all that. So here for Island and Reef, Oh, look, yeah, for the island and reef, things for your island or reef. So you got hammock, beach chairs, campfire, things like that. You got things for your underwater reef that you can set up different types of coral and stuff like that. So here we're gonna buy this tank. It's all the money we have right now, so we'll buy that. Unfortunately, I did forget to equip that tank, so I bought it, but I'm still using the regular tank that you start the game with. So here she gives us another item, which is the underwater camera that we can use to photograph anything we want underwater, and that we can put in our photo album. We can develop the pictures and actually put it in an album, which is pretty cool. Also, the grandfather had actually ordered night diving gear so that we can go diving at night, but she doesn't have it yet, so we're still restricted to daytime. And here, again, like I said, the game has online play, or it had online play when it was around back then. So this is the Wi-Fi gate. You will come here, you can either invite other players to come to your island, you can go to their island and go diving together. I think we're going to save our progress here. And as far as the night diving gear, yeah, in this game, just like in real life, different animals come out at different times of day. So diving at night or sunset, you could have a completely different experience as far as what you interact with or what you encounter compared to diving, during the daytime. There'll also be animals behave certain ways at certain time of day as well. So very, very realistic in that aspect. So yeah, we're ready to ride, man. Let's go. Go look for this Valka castle. Here she's letting you know that, when you go to places that are not near Nine Ball Island, you're going to be going by plane. So, that's, you don't really need to know that. It advances everything one day. Who cares? It doesn't matter. But it's just a little bit of information. So now we're going to pick Ciseros Strait, which is in the Aegean Sea, a brand new location we haven't been able to visit before. And here you'll see the plane flying towards Ciseros Strait. And we'll get a little bit of information about that area. Shark-infested waters, so this is going to be exciting. So this is where Valka Castle, at least historically, used to be located. According to the legend, it sank beneath the waves, so now we got to go and see if we can discover it, find it. No one's ever been able to find it before, so that's going to be interesting. And now we get introduced to one of the extra characters that become part of your crew, who we saw at the beginning intro of the game. Remember, that was a flash forward, so now we're meeting him in real time. His name is Gaston Gray, or you can call him GG for short. That's like Nintendo's little play on words. Everybody uses that now, playing online multiplayer. I see it all the time playing Sea of Thieves. Whether I win or lose in PvP, it's always GG, good game, or whatever. So they were ahead of their time with that one. So here he's letting you know there's a lot of shipwrecks here, a lot of sharks, whirlpools as well. And there's one infamous shark, which is badass. When we find him later on in the playthrough, he's super impressive. Giant man-eater named Thanatos. Obviously, we're talking about a great white, but it's a unique great white. So here basically we're quarreling over who's gonna find the castle first. He's a world famous salvager, so he's like, I'm gonna do it. We're gonna do it. At this point, we're just trying to get through this dialogue so we can get to the actual diving. And now we got another item, the multi-sensor. It's basically like a sonar that we can use underwater, and it'll basically find any items that are hidden on the ocean floor that we can salvage. It'll also break it down and tell you what the item that you're scanning is made of, whether it's stones, metal, wood, high density, things like that. Comes in really handy when you just want to dive to salvage stuff so that you can sell it and make money. So now we're heading down. So you'll notice, the environment's vastly different than the last one we were in. Also, a bunch of brand new life we didn't encounter in the last area. So there you can see some hammerheads cruising in the background. Beautiful, beautiful. Just like I said, bro, the creature model design in this game is just impeccable. And a lot better than the original. The original was already good, but here they got a lot more lifelike. Just letting you know, hammerheads aren't really known for attacking, so it should be cool. So we're gonna go now and use the multi-sensor, try to find any items of interest. Also, I think we're gonna go and try to feed these hammerheads. So obviously now there's something there. It's telling us that it's made of, it's not detecting metal or wood, it's detecting stone and high density, so. We're gonna see what this is. And it's a piece of lapis lazuli, which is the same material that her pendant is made out of. And there you can see in the distance a whirlpool, which is going to block our way. We're not going to be able to go through that. So we're going to have to find a way around. So now we're going to go interact with these hammerheads, see if we can feed them. Also, by interacting with them like any other creature, we document them so they can be in the encyclopedia, and we can learn some information about them. So watch you bring out the food, and look, they go crazy. They come right in. All of them, boom, boom, boom. Here comes the third one. And like I said, it's cool because you hold out the food, and if you hold it while they're eating it, you could feel the vibrations on the Wiimote, just giving you that much more immersiveness. Let me take a quick photograph. See if I can get multiple sharks in the same shot. You zoom in, zoom out. Bam. That aspect of the game is very Pokemon Snap-like, so you get to photograph them. Again, like I said, you could develop the pictures, put them in your album. So here we're just using the multi-sensor again, scanning the floor, trying to see if we find anything else. We're heading right for that whirlpool. You're going to see that it blocks our way. We're not able to go through it. See, there's something in there, but we can't get to it because of the whirlpool. And again, it's reading it as stone and high density, so it could be some more of that lapis lazuli that we've been finding. Yeah, it's just telling us the whirlpool. So we're gonna go around this side of the rock face, go around and behind it, see if we can get in the other way. Here we got some more, tiny creatures that we wouldn't be able to see unless we zoom in. So we continue our journey. Right there beneath us, you can see a sunken ship. It's called the Pride of Athens. One of many sunken ships in this area that you can find. There's a lot more life to interact with here. I'm just not interacting with everything because I'm trying to actually get the story moving forward. Here we'll turn on the multi-sensor, see if we can find anything. There's another whirlpool up in front of us. There it is. And what do we have here? More lapis lazuli. So it seems like this area is rich in that. But the grandfather tells us right now there's way too much of it here for it to be happening naturally. So more than likely a ship was coming through here, back in the day that was, carrying this stuff, and it probably went down. So now we're finding a lot of it here. And, he just looked it up and found out that indeed that is the case. So now we find out that this kind of stone comes from Egypt. And also it's letting us know that since we've discovered this area and we're familiar with it, now we have a brand new dive spot. We don't have to start our dive from where we did when we first got here. We can start it, from this area. So here it lets us surface, like I told you before. So now we're at the surface. We're going to take a peek around above the surface. You can see our surroundings. Also comes in handy later in the game. There's areas where you can actually get out of the water, which is another improvement over the original game. You couldn't do that in the original. In this one, you can actually get out of the water at certain areas and walk around on the dry land. And then there's animals on the dry land you can interact with. We got some jellyfish. And only in a video game can you swim right through them without anything happening. So now we're looking for that shipwreck that he just told us about, seeing if we can find it. Here we find some tuna, Atlantic bluefin tuna. Again, creature modeling, dead spot on accurate, man. Uh-oh, my favorite animal in the world, great white shark. So you know what this means. We gotta bring that pulsar out before it attacks us. It's coming at us. And we calm him down. He swims away. The great white shark model in this game, a lot more lifelike, a lot more accurate than the original. In the original Endless Ocean, that was the only animal I kind of had a problem with how it was modeled. The only problem I have with it in this game that for some reason the great whites in this game are smaller than they should be. But I think the reason they did that is in comparison to the shark that we heard about, Thanatos, the legendary great white that's in this area. They made him massive. So I think they wanted to make the other great whites smaller by comparison, but you know, I would have preferred them to be a little bit bigger, more lifelike. But still, like as far as like the visual representation, the animal looks spot on. So he's telling us we got to go to the southwest. So that's the direction we're gonna head in. You notice my air tank is half gone, so we might run out of air before we get there. Might have to dive a second time. Also, it doesn't help that I'm stopping and looking at so much, you know, marine life, but that's part of the game. You want to, like I said, document these creatures. It's it's one of the ways that you go about 100%ing the game. So I'm trying to get this shrimp that comes in and out. There he goes again. And there you see the goby starts eating the food that I left for him. As soon as I tapped them, they retreated. Here comes the shrimp. We finally got him. So we can move on. Oh, there we go. Found a coin. And here we got some mahi-mahi, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Super accurate. Love the coloration. There we go. Learned a new fact. Trying to get around this cliff wall right here to try to go southwest. In the direction we're supposed to be going. And here we discovered another area called the Cross Rift. A lot of, there's a pot of bottlenose dolphins that likes to, chill around this area, which is pretty cool. So I'm gonna head up top, see if I can find them, interact with them. Where are they at? Ah, there we go. Echo, come here. So you'll see here, I'm going to use the underwater whistle, and you're going to see how they start chirping and squeaking and reacting to it. You see? And now it's cool because they kind of like swim with you for a little while. Eat them, pet them. So we're going to continue on our way. You'll see here they swim with me for a little bit. It's pretty cool. So I'm heading in the wrong direction, so I got to turn around. And again, you'll notice my air tank is running low. And I completely ignore that and just dive even deeper and deeper, which takes more air. Here we got some barracudas, so you know I'm gonna interact with them. Looks like some hammerheads in the distance. It's incredible, man. Incredible. Not just the graphics, like I've said a million times in this video, but the draw distance, man. Especially for such a limited set of hardware. Really, really created some lifelike ocean environments, man. With sun rays peeking through. The more closer you get to the surface. Here we go. We found another area. Kind of menacing how deep it goes. And you can actually go down there, by the way. The South Canyon. Remember, we started in the North Canyon. We made our way all the way down south. Now, trying to head in the southwest direction like it told us. And there goes the air tank. That chime is letting us know, hey, you're running out of air. So I'm like, you know what, bro, it's going to send me back anyways. Let's just head back to the boat now and dive again. Every time you resurface and come back down, you come with a fresh tank, so. So there you see, we've gone pretty much from the top to the bottom of the map, but there's so much on the right and left to still explore. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm telling you, this game was massive, especially for a Wii title. So we're going to start at the location we discovered, which is a little bit closer. That way we don't have to swim as far. So I think here I'm just going to head straight in that direction, see if we can finally get there. Oh, look at the size of those fish, bro. Giant trevallies. Alright, let's feed them real quick. Whoa. They all coming. Here comes the tuna also. So I'll keep it moving. There we see there's that whirlpool. Not gonna let us go through, so we're gonna have to go around it. Another coin. So we found like what, 3 or 4 already in this first part of the playthrough. According to the map, we're not heading in the right direction. But the only way to get to the direction that it wants me to go is to go through that whirlpool. So we're going to circle back around, see if there's something I'm missing. Bring up the map. I like the fact that you can bring up the map and still keep moving, and when you do that, the map is kind of like transparent, so it's not blocking the screen completely. And yeah, brings us to, and that tells us here. Took another look at my sea charts. Southwest Ciseros Strait is completely sealed off by 5 whirlpools, basically. There's no way to go forward, so we gotta come back to the boat. We gotta show Nancy our find, which is, you know, all the lapis lazuli we found in this area, and the bracelet especially that we found. So that's, I mean, that's part of the story. We can't proceed through here yet. There's a reason for that. So we're gonna head back to the boat. But first, I'll see if I can find anything with the multi-sensor. Anything worth selling. Let's see what this is. Oh, that's the shrimp from before. So we can move on. That looks like a shipwreck coming up ahead. I'm gonna go check that out. Now there we see I think that's a white tip reef shark if I'm not mistaken, but I don't interact with it. Got some groupers. Man, I'm telling you, it's just a variety of creatures in this game. Just spectacular, man. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, man. Wait till you, in the playthrough, we go through all the other areas, man. You'll see, bro. It's crazy. I ain't picking up anything yet, and I don't remember if that's if it's a story reason why I'm not picking up anything yet, or if it's just an empty area. But I'm sure we'll find out as we go forward. It's another goby and another goby shrimp. Keep it moving. Oh, there's like another shipwreck. See if there's anything there. Oh, danger. Oh, great whites. A lot of great whites. So you see what I'm saying? They look super lifelike, but they look small. They look like juveniles, which I wish they would look bigger, but it is what it is. So we've calmed them down. Let's get the hell out of here. Let's see if they're following. Nope. There's our partner, Oceana. Where the hell did they go? Alright, well, let's see. Let's step down here. Oh. Oh, here they come. Oh. Oh, we got whacked. So you see what I'm saying? They come with their mouths open, but they tail whip, you know, so that's part of like Nintendo's no violence thing. But look, they do look super lifelike, man. The way they move, the way they open their jaws and all that, the way they look, but I just wish they were bigger. Trying to get through and... Oh, he missed. Oh, but that one didn't. So we're running out of air. Let's just get out of here. But I want to make sure I interact with him first so I can document my favorite creature. And now let's get the hell out of here. We're running out of air. We head back to the boat. And our diving level has gone up again. So, it's a good thing. So now you see we've opened up even more of the map. So we're gonna go back to 9 Ball Island so we can show Nancy what we found. And I think that's where we're gonna conclude this first part of the playthrough. Just wanna get back to 9 Ball Island, show her, progress the story for her a little bit, see what she tells us. Then I'm just gonna save and we'll call that part 1. Hope you guys are enjoying this, man, especially fans of the game. I know for some it might be a little boring, not their type of game, but man, this is, like I said countless times, very, very special game to me. So, and I know plenty of fans that do enjoy this type of game, so this is for them. Don't forget, we're also doing the Wii U series, Zombie U, Super Mario 3D World, and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. We've done part 1 and 2 of Zombie U. Part 1 was received very favorably. Part 2, for some reason, hasn't been received all that well. It's only got like 22 views. I'm not sure why. I've advertised it. It's progressing the story forward. There's a lot more to see, so hopefully you guys will jump on that. But we're still doing those. I still got to do part 2 of Super Mario 3D World and part 2 of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. That has not been forgotten. Took a break last week from making videos. It was my wife's birthday, so it was more about taking her out and celebrating and enjoying time with her. But this week we're back at it, man. So here we got Nancy coming through. She's gonna appraise the bracelet, tell us about it. It's written in Linear B, so that's like an ancient language if I'm not mistaken. Used by the Mycenaeans. Over 3,500 years old, which is crazy. So we want her to read the writing. So it says, fishermen of Triton Village of the Aleros Cape, pay heed if you value your life. Even the whirling waters fear the night. Sail when all is quiet in the calm twilight. So that's giving us a clue, letting us know that those whirlpools vanish at night. They're only during the day. So if we want to go to that area, we gotta dive at night. And that's where she gives us the night diving gear that we need to go back. So now, in part 2, we'll be heading back there, diving at night, getting to the area we couldn't get through before because the whirlpools were blocking our way. Now they won't be, and we'll discover a hell of a lot more. Maybe even finally find Baka Castle. And as always, progress the story forward. So like I said, bro, it's going to be part 1 of the playthrough. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know anything else you would like to see, game-wise, or even in this game. I'm here for y'all, man, so y'all let me know. God bless y'all. Stay gaming. Peace.